Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to teach you how to draw a Wings of Fire Rainwing. So, a rainwing is like glory if you've ever read the books. So I'm going to link all the materials down in the description, and you're just going to start with a mechanical pencil and just draw a little square. Then you are going to make it 3D. So this is also going to help with depth and perception when you're drawing your dragon. Of course, this is going to be erased later, but let's just start with our hook snout. And you can always, if you mess up, you can always go back and fix it however you want. So don't worry about it. If you get it wrong, it's fine. So they also have beautiful frills, beautiful ears, beautiful horns, and their wings are a little bit different than normal rainwings. So, not normal rainwings, other dragons I mean. So just keep that in mind as I draw them and as you draw them, if you guys are following along or if you're just watching the tutorial just for fun. So just sketching out their snout, I'm just keeping in mind that I am doing a female, so I'm going to make the snout more thin and short. But if you guys want to do a male, just make it more muscular and boxy. So just sketching out the snout, I'm sort of perfecting it. And for a female, it's of course slimmer, as I mentioned before. So just slimming it down a little bit. And the rainwings have sort of like a box at the end of their neck. Or not the end of their neck, the beginning of their neck, I'm guessing. So I just drew that really quick, and I'm just sketching out the nostrils. And we're going to start really quick on the eyes. Just sketch them out really quick. It's triangles sort of over a circle. And then I'm just going to make the snout a little thinner, make it look better. Just perfect it however you need to. You can even pause the video and take your time to just make it look how you want to. And remember, we're not done with the head yet. This is just our base drawing. So I'm going to make it a little bit more slim because I think it's still a little too big. And like as you can see, the rainwings sort of have a not very slim face and patterns and horns and frills, and look at their legs and neck. I'm really excited to draw those. So let's continue. After we just take a quick look at the face one more time, if you need to pause the video. All right, let's continue. So I'm going to continue slimming the face a little bit more. I'm going to make it a little shorter. I'm going to hook it a little bit more. And the nostrils are still sort of there. But this is a dragon I actually drew a little while ago. It's an ice and rainwing mix. And I really did a rainwing body with ice wing horns and an ice wing sort of style face. But I still did like the hook snout. So I'm going to sort of try to emulate the wing shape as well, which is like a T-bone. I'm going to try to emulate this dragon in my other dragon that we're drawing right now. You guys can do that, or you don't have to. And if you'll notice, the wings are sort of folded up. I did it in more of a different way than the book did it. I did it less tight, but I think I did it more like ice wing, I'm guessing. Because if you look at the ice wing, which I just showed you guys, it looks more like that, to me at least. And so, if you look, there's also like sort of like a flap of skin over there, if you'll see. And rainwings have that, but also so do nightwings, I noticed. They have like a slight like flap, if you'll see. And they also have sort of a muscular leg, and I think that's what I'm going to base it off of. And I think that'll turn out really well because I thought my rainwing would be a little more like a fighting type than the normal average rainwing. So let's continue by looking at the snout on the ice wing. And I'm going to sort of try to almost copy that on the rainwing, because I think it'll be a lot better with that sort of snout. So I made it thinner, definitely thinner, and more slender. And then I think this one looks the best of any so far. But I decided to do a different sort of chin and make it sort of like more curved down. I decided to erase the eyes and try them again and make them more like those eyes, if you'll notice. And also the wing as well. This part I did not realize I was not in frame, so sorry about that, but you didn't miss much. I was just sort of sketching out more of the eyes. So just drawing more of like a triangle shape, then a circle in the middle of a triangle and sort of shading on the outside and perfecting the draw line. And so I decided to make like a little indent, sort of like a chin, I guess. So it made it look more rainwingy, I thought. So you guys can do that, or you can just leave a curved like chin. Honestly, your choice. So looking back at my other ice wing / rain wing, I did not do it. And I did the nostrils more on top of the snout, but I think I want to do the nostrils more deep into the snout. And if you'll look, it's a lot different than a rain wing. I'm starting to realize how different. So I think I'm going to do the horns next. I think that'll really pull it all back to rain wingness. So I'm going to just start with my sketching out of the horns. Just do like a curvy sort of line. And another one. And just curving up again. And then making sort of like a little end cap, I guess, to make it so you could tell it's separate horns. And now I'm just going to do the ears. I'm going to do sort of like spikes, I'm guessing, if you'll look. And I'm just going to connect them with sort of like a web style, sort of like a sea wing's talons. And you'll see it looks like a rainwing ear frill now. And I'm just going to perfect that a little bit. You guys can pause the video anytime you need to perfect it, make it look better, however you would like. If you'll notice, rainwings also have a little box sort of thing at the end of their, or the beginning of their neck actually. So I'm going to show you guys that. And if you'll notice, it's more in line with the horn than the eye. So I'm actually going to fix that because mine was more in line with the eye at first. So just sort of like right with the horn. Maybe with just the top of the horn, so not the top of the horn, the bottom of the horn, sorry. And just fix that up, but I accidentally made like the mouth too small, so I'm just going to extend that a little bit. And so I'm really liking how it's turning out so far. I think that it's doing well, like a rainwing. And I'm just going to continue with sort of perfecting the face, and then we're going to start on the neck. So I'm just fixing the jawline to make it how I would like it. And if you guys want, if you've already done this, you can go ahead and skip this little part of the video, but I will be showing the rainwing reference here. Now we're going to start on the neck. So the neck sort of goes up, curves, and goes back down, and then curves again. And same on the back. So it sort of goes like a curve, like a very nice curve, like a snake almost. So I'm going to start our curve and go down. I think that looks really good and very rainwingy. So I'm just going to perfect it a little bit. I really do like perfecting my artwork. And I'm going to start on the legs. So at first I was just sketching out sort of a basic dragon leg, or what I thought was like just a basic dragon leg. And then I looked at our reference, and I realized the rainwing leg was more like this. So it sort of curves back like that. And then I just erased my other one because I realized, oh shoot, that's not how it looks. And then just going to extend the leg by going ahead and finishing it. You can make it look very muscular if you like. I decided to do it because I thought that this one was going to be more like of a fighter rainwing. So I decided to sort of make it look more muscular. And if you'll notice, rainwings' elbows, I guess, are very knobbly. So I decided to make it look a lot more knobbly than it already was. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that really quick by just making it thinner and then sort of doing like a sharpish corner and going back up into the muscular arm. And of course, the wing is connected to the arm. If you guys didn't know that, that's how the dragons and Wings of Fire are. And the wing sort of hooks up, if you'll see, and then they have a flap of skin. So I decided to go ahead and start on that. Alright, so they also have like a fold. So in this picture, the Rainwing is folding her wings at the top. So I'm also going to be doing that, but in sort of a less like sharp way, I guess. So let's start on the like finishing the leg. So they also have talons, as you will know. All dragons have talons. So I sort of made banana looking talons. I didn't even realize they look like bananas until just now voicing over this. And then the foot is flat, of course, if you'll notice that. But banana talons, and we're going to make it look better, of course, later. And then I'm just going to sort of sketch out the other leg, like as a silhouette almost, but not really. So don't make it exactly the same, because otherwise it won't be interesting. It'll just be the exact same thing. And as we know, no 2 feet are exactly the same, or no 2 legs are exactly the same. And then I'm just going to finish up our neck. This actually took a while, the neck finishing, because I could not decide where I wanted the neck to come out of. Some places it looked weird and like the dragon was tilting her head too much. And then other places made it look like the dragon was like, it had its head bent down. So I just tried to find sort of a sweet spot, and I even went over and looked at the reference, and I realized it sort of came out of the back of the head. So just drawing it out of the back of the head, I realized how much better it was starting to look. And then I decided, oh, now the neck's gonna be too fat. So I decided to make the neck slimmer. It looks not like it's slimmer yet, but I'm just going to erase that. And if you'll see in this reference, it's just very curvy, and it comes out of the back of the head instead of directly out of like the bottom of the head. So just wiping around my eraser and just gonna perfect it a little bit, make it look more realistic dragony. I thought it went up a little too much, so I decided to still make it come out of the back of the head, but go down a little bit more. So just going to pen that out with my pencil, or just pencil that out, I guess. And I did do a couple tests before filming this video, and I did run into this problem twice, actually. So it's not uncommon, and if you're like, oh, I'm struggling with that too, awesome. So just go ahead and try to fix it the best you can. And then let's move on to the eyeball. So I sort of just did a little black circle and then sort of lighter shading around it and tried to make the circle darker. And then I did a little tiny white spot at the very top. And then I started doing the Rainwing facial sort of stuff. And they have sort of a thing around their eye and then also going down their snout. So I just definitely made sure to do that, and then I realized the neck was going too far into the jawline, so I just receded it back a little bit. And of course, dragons need to be very sharp looking, so I just made the corners look a little bit sharper and added that sort of underbelly thing. So if you'll notice, dragons have sort of this like different parts of skin under their underbelly. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. So I just added that, and now we're going to continue on the wings. I decided to make it go up a little bit more, and because I thought it would hit the dragon's head a little bit. And there's our flap of skin. And of course, at the end of their wings, they have little tiny banana talons. And I didn't realize that Rainwings didn't have one on top, because I just drawn another dragon and they did have them on top and on bottom. So I erased that later, but you guys don't have to do that. If you like it on top and bottom, you totally can keep it. And so I'm just going to sketch out the pieces of the wing So go ahead and follow along, and here is the T-bone actually. So just sketching this out, I realized it was getting a little pudgy. So I decided I just wanted to make it a little thinner, but we can do that later. Let's just move on with the wings. Sketching out the wing, I realized it was a little pudgy, but it was fine. So I just decided that we're going to make it a little different later. You guys can have any type of dragon you want though. But I'm going to finish sketching out the part that sort of connects it to the body, and then I'll show it to you guys. Let's go. So now I just finished sketching that out. That's the part that's going to connect it to the body, and if you look at my reference here, that connects right over the underbelly. And I thought it looked really nice so far. I just only got pencil on my book. And it just goes up into the curve, like right there. And there's a little talon at the end. And then on the wings, you can also see there's also talons. We're going to do that pretty soon. And on the feet as well, I like the feet shape. They're very special to Rainwings because they're different from most of the other tribes. So they brought this really cool talon on the back, and I just thought that was probably one of the coolest talons I've ever seen. So let's continue the sketch, and I've decided to make it more realistically thinner. Not atrociously thin, but good enough. And just starting with sort of the folds of the wings, just going through different ones. So just going over the fold of the wing, I'm just sketching it out, deciding where I want it to be, how big I want it to be. And remember, this is just the initial sketch. We're going to make it look better later and everything. If you already have like your base sketch down, or you know exactly what you want to do already, you guys can go ahead and skip to the part where we start getting more into detail, such as the scales, everything else. But I do highly recommend watching this because I really do show you how to sketch everything out when you're just first starting. But if you already know exactly what you want to do, go ahead and stick to what you know if you really want to. But you guys can also watch this if you want to. Your choice. So now I'm just doing the silhouette like we did with the legs. And this is going to just be our other wing. It's going to be very simple. Just going to do the front part. And then our little banana talons. And I said earlier, I got it confused with another dragon. Should have looked at my reference earlier, but unfortunately did not. So it's fine if you guys want to keep the top talons. I just realized it, so just gonna leave it like that and perfect the talons a little bit. I really do like making sure that everything's to my liking. So you guys can go ahead and double check everything too. If you guys have your own reference, you can also go off of that. And this one, I'm just going to make sort of the fold on the front, as you can see. And just go ahead and perfect it. Make it look a little bit more 3D. I sort of did a little bit of shading already, but if you already looked down in the description box, one of our items is a Q-tip, and that is also going to be for shading later. So make sure to have one of those handy so that when we need to do some shading, you already got it. Alright, now looking at the back of the wing, I'm sort of going to do that, and I'm going to use my beautiful eraser, and I'm going to clean up my page a little bit and just make it look nicer and clean up my lines a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and do our scales. So I already started a little bit, and this is just doing like little half diamonds right over here. I thought it looked very nice, very uniform. So if you want a more uniform Rainwing that's more like, sort of like, I guess, a fighter, I'm guessing, or maybe like Queen Glory, then I would highly recommend doing this. If you guys want more of a messy, chaotic Rainwing, do this other style I'm going to show you in a minute, where you sort of mold your scales together and make them all sort of messy, chaotic, more Rainwing-ish, sort of like Kinkajou or Kinkajou. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but sort of like that. And no, I will not be coloring this one. So you guys can color on your own. I'm not going to color mine because I kind of like a more sketchy look. So if you want to, you totally can. I'm just not going to. So I'm just going to fill in some of the scales, and you guys can go ahead and follow along with me. And so here are some more of the scales filled in. If you'll notice, it's a lot more uniform. I did some smaller and some bigger, and now I'm just going to sort of blend them together. This is the blending process. And on some of the other parts of this dragon, I just did small little scales and then little globs. And I thought that looked nice as well. It's a lot faster, a lot easier, but you can do this as well. And in this one, I just erased a large area and then sort of just drew squiggles, I guess. And I thought it still did look nice, so it worked out. So I'm just going to go through and just draw a bunch more of these scales, perfect it some more, and I think it's going to look very, very nice when it's all done, especially with all the scales. Now, remember, you don't have to do all the scales, but you can. And, oh, I also need to do the lines on the belly. Just going to start on that so I don't forget. And you can always not do the scales and just have a dragon, but I decided to do scales. Also, with scales, sometimes it's trickier to color in and stuff, but let's start on the back, because we never really got to the back until now. If you look, that line I just drew is going to be for the underbelly, and here's a rainwing underbelly, and it's right under the wing. There's like a little bit in between. So I think I got it pretty spot on for that. And then we're going to have our leg, which sort of like ironically, I'm guessing, connects sort of to our wing that our other foot connects to. Not ironically, but like funnily. It doesn't seem like it would, but it does. So not fully connected like the other one, just sort of from the same area, if you know what I mean. So just sketching that out, I'm going to make the foot flat and do the funny rainwing back leg with all that stuff. I am looking at the reference, in case you were wondering. So, just going to do our little back tail banana thingy. And going to go ahead and erase that little line because we can't have pesky little lines. And going to make the foot look more muscular and make it look more rainwingy, I guess. And then I'm going to start on the tail. And I just drew the tail sort of as a curved line and then coming back, and then I did sort of like a curl almost. I'm going to show you guys that in a second after I sort of perfect it. And then going back and connecting it back to the back of the dragon.
These little guys need wireless.
And I'm going to show you guys what the tail item looks like.
They probably need nutrients.
So it's sort of, you know how they have prehensile tails? So I sort of wanted to do that, but then I realized, oh, I made the tail too big. So I decided, okay, let's try to make this more prehensile. And I decided to go ahead and cut off part of the side. And once I did that, it definitely looked like a sharp tail. So just going to make it more like sharp and clean up the edges a little bit. So I'm just making the tail look better, a little bit thinner because I thought it was a little big. I'm going over my lines a little darker. So I want to make sure everything looks very nice and uniform and dragony and sharp. And then I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. And I'm just going to use my big, beautiful pink eraser and make my lines tighter and thinner, and my tail a bit like more prehensile, like a rainwing. So just going in there and doing that, and sorry you couldn't see me erase that because my hand had to get in the way, but
how about some Soshin on you now?
I just erased that and then made it a little bit longer.
Jean-Paul, how about some Soshin, baby?
No, I'm doing a drawing tutorial and I'm going to either put a voiceover or just subtitles and take out all the noise.
The excess and just wipe off my eraser shreds.
Jean-Paul,
See, it's starting to move more and more
I know
like
you're not
a
doing
good
the shot.
Rainbow
You
dragon.
don't want to make it.
And if you missed
It's
it
time,
earlier,
buddy.
I
It's time to
taught you guys how to do a certain type
Mary,
of scales. I taught you guys how to do another certain type of scales.
You want to water some in here?
So
Because they're all done.
just
You
to
did a
this
good
part,
job.
those are the scales, and I did it by making sort of half triangles.
You did great.
And then I'm going to go back to the face and sort of draw some more hard lines to make it look more defined and more sleek, I guess. And on the facial patterning, to make everything look a bit more sharp and more clean. So just by doing that, I'm just making sure that it looks very confident. Very nice rainwing. I'm also going over the horns, of course. I really like rainwing horns because they sort of move them up a little bit. But they're not very long, they're pretty short. So just going to go in and make some darker lines and sort of reflect my scales a little bit, as you can see. And you can see my frills, my little ear frills. If you guys missed that, it's very easy to draw. You guys can always draw a line if you want. I decided to make the mouth a little bit more defined as well. And finishing it off by making the box a bit more defined as well, which also made it look
This I'm needing to put on my bike, so I just don't want to forget it.
sleek, I guess, actually. And a little bit more scary, like more of a scary rainwing, if that's even a thing.
Mary was cleaning.
So,
Yeah, just slip on
something
that.
that I want around is what I'm doing right now, and then shading it a little bit more. Still leaving some light spots so it's not completely dark. And of course, rainwings
I got the
have that cool little detail on their face, and I'm shading it in a little bit. So I want it to look a little darker in some parts, but look lighter in other parts. So it looks very nice. And just cleaning up my edges really helps all the time make my drawing just look overall better. So especially when you clean up your edges right around the face, which is where a lot of people mostly look at on pretty much any drawing of an animal or person. It makes it easy.
How about that good spaghetti that's not the whole grain one that's really gross?
You can put spaghetti, you have ground beef, you have pasta.
We don't have garlic bread. We don't have any vegetables.
Wider lines where it's more of
We have tortillas.
open, stretched out.
Please take care of your
I had a couple feet more lines, and I did it further on stomach and the lower neck. I'm just going to finish it on the tail. Once I'm done with it on the tail, we'll move on to the next. But here I just sort of did different size lines. These are all pretty close to the same size, but then I started getting smaller as we got to the crease in the tail. And I decided that I wanted to reach to be still a little bit wider. I also did sort of a thing where the tail was turned a little bit, so you can only see the undertail on a part and then on another part. And just going through and putting in those lines, and then on the other side as well, just putting in those lines and making them all go in correctly. So after we put in those lines on the end of the tail, we're going to do some more of the scales and the neck frills. So they have sort of like spikes along their neck and their back and even to their tails. So we're going to do that next, which is actually pretty tedious, but I think you guys will enjoy it because I know that I enjoyed it. And just finishing up our lines right there. Looking good, looking good. And doing it tighter, of course, as we get to the spiral. And at the very end, very close together. And we're going to go ahead and look back at our reference. And as you can see, the scales are very nice, very small, but I want to do slightly bigger, as you can see. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do this. Oh, whoa, all the frills are done. Like magic. So those are the frills. I just did sort of like triangles all over the back and even towards the tail, and it worked really great. And just going to make those lines look sharper and go ahead and start more on the scales in a minute. After we go ahead and take a look at what you've done so far. Good job, guys. If you made it this far, thank you very much for staying. Alright, let's do the scales. So, we're just going to sort of start with the diamondy pattern and squiggles. So I just really want to do more squiggles on the underbelly because I felt like it would be good right there. And more like humps, I guess. And they're all done now. So that was pretty fast. I can't believe, wow. And this is where we used our Q-tip. We used it just to blend out our shading on our back and on pretty much everything. I shaded in on the back wing so you could tell the back from the front. And then I shaded in on the underbelly. Here I am shading some of that. And then just clean it up using your eraser. It's really easy. And do not wet your Q-tip. I did it once and it ruined my drawing because it made everything wet and it was not fun. But as you can see, I did a different pattern for the front legs and the wings. I did the diamond pattern and I did not do any of the squigglies. But I kind of like the difference. It makes everything sort of stand apart and everything sort of just go together. And I did a bunch of shading everywhere. Added a bunch of more scales. And I made the nostrils a little bit more prominent as well as the snout. And I just thought it looked amazing. And now we're just going to clean it up. So you guys can always color it over if you want to. You don't have to. You can keep it like a sketch like I did. But you guys can if you would like to. And also, just remember to clean it up. Always clean up your drawings. Always sign them and date them, because you might look at it 40 years from now and not even know what the heck it is. Or depending on how old you are, maybe 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. Who knows? Alright, well, I hope you guys all had a great day and had a great time drawing this. Just finished cleaning up your work. And I hope to see you guys next time. Now, let me know what color your rain wing is, if you're going to color it, or what it would be if you were going to color it, just while I clean this up. And I hope you guys all have a great day. Enjoy your rain wing drawings. And keep loving Wings of Fire. Bye.
Out there right now, like kind of randomly. We're just being a little more cautious with idiots. I'm spraying my pepper spray. It'll be fine. The only times you're really going to have a problem is if you're in a situation where everyone else is wearing a mask and they notice you're not. And some people go crazy and some people don't.
Mom, did you know?
And they're not going to go crazy on
You
this
know
because
how
they have a
Costco
pepper spray.
requires masks?
Uh-huh.
Yesterday was funny because what I did, so I took off. I basically, this is really funny.
What?
So at the beginning, me and Dad had our masks on, and then Dad said, so we took his off. Like, oh, I need some fresh air. I thought you did too, so I took mine off. I forgot until we got back to our car that I took my mask down.
Good boy. You just keep it down.
I just forgot. I had
Just keep it down. It's
it was
not
just
fun.
on my neck the entire time.
Plus, you're a kid, and it's not even good for you, and no one's gonna attack you for not wearing a mask.
But